Thank you so much. Thank you, Larry, for
Thank you, Larry, for bringing the family together. We have not done that before. It needs Larry for people to connect and get together.
uh, mm, mm. Yeah.
Mm.
Yes. Yes. Larry. Thank you. Ah, thank
Go
you.
ahead.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's very touching that this that it I don't know, it's family somehow. So it's there's also a big critic who says if you do work, don't mix it with family, but on the other hand, it's I don't know, there are a lot of feelings and there's like dreaming together and possibilities and using possibilities to yeah, move on. So it's like it feels like a bit shaky, but also very beautiful too. Mhm. My daughters' names are Frida and Katja. Yeah, and the girl you saw right now is Emmanuel's daughter. Yes, yes, yeah. That is the second born, Tumaini. Tumaini Christine. And she is here for 2.5 months, um, wanting to learn some German. And this was something that came up when I was in Marafa for the very first time. She said, Emmanuel, please drive Barbara to my school. I have to tell her something. I dreamt that I'm going to visit you when my school is finished. So last November she finished school, and then we started planning if this is like really possible to make this dream happen. And yeah, and it's hmm? Makes you yes, and it's incredible how this young woman who has never been outside of Malindi before, only for going to Nairobi to get the visa, how she moves here, how she navigates a completely different culture, and by what to me looks like faith, faith in God and in herself, and it's really a great big learning how being like focused on a vision can get you somewhere and can give you also like orientation in something that feels like if I see it from her eyes, it's like I could not do it here. It's like just the like how our family works and how it communicates and how Emmanuel's family communicates. It's completely different and still somehow it's a very pleasant experience to be together.
Thank you for sharing that. Uh, 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 I said thank you, Barbara, for saying that. And if you will allow me, I will go start to brief about what is happening here and about the student center
Do you have
and
headphones?
what we
It's very, do you have headphones? It's very difficult to hear.
can you hear me now?
Huh?
Can you hear me? Okay, can you hear me? Good, good. Uh, First, I want to say thank you for making for this call and organizing it, Larry. For the past 1 week, we have been having some heavy rains here. The rains have been so heavy, raining, and only today we had sunshine, and we were able to go to church. But the other days there have been so much raining, and these rains have been other places very dangerous because some buildings have been falling down. But we are lucky here in Marafa and in the center. Still, we are all doing well. Though the rains have made some of the like the house for the teachers, especially the staff ladies' house in the mud has been washed by water, and we have to redo it. But all the people are doing well. The the farm is becoming more green because of the rains that have been happening. It is more green. We are now harvesting kales, that is kumawiki, and the corn that we planted is now also growing because the rains are continuing. So we are like working all the time in the farm to see how we can catch up with the rains. Uh, on Friday, then started the long holidays, and also this tomorrow it is the day that the national examinations will be done for those who have level 8 and other secondary schools. Examinations are starting. The national exams will start tomorrow. So because at our center we don't have level standard 8 or level 8, then we already started the holiday until 2nd of January. They will be resuming classwork. So this time it's only classwork. They don't go to class, but they come at the center during the day. They stay there, they play there until in the evening. Then they can go back to their host families and sleep. So it's only that they don't go to class, but still they are at the center, and at the center mostly they play, and also they do go and visit the farm and making some little farm work. So that is currently how the center and the farm is going on. And the project of pig pen is now also going on, and we are building the pig. So from we are hoping from next month. I didn't imagine that the house we are building for the pigs will be such like a big one, but now it looks like the walls are getting up, and it looks like a big house. It's bigger than the one we have here at home. So we are looking forward also transferring the pigs from here to the center, and this will be very good for the children to start also caring for the animals. Uh, that is how currently what is happening and what is going on. And also, we had the proposal of getting the children to go to trip, maybe next month or in December before the Christmas, how it will happen. But this was a proposal that their children requested because it's a learning part of their learning. So last year we did not manage to do it, so it was like if we get support we can do it, and if we don't do it this month or November or December, still we can plan for it and maybe do it in early January when funds are available. But the schedule was, if possible, they can go for trip this November, maybe at the end of November or late November. That is the schedule that we had arranged with the teachers. So currently we are building the pig pen using the bricks that we made, and the bricks are doing also making the walls very very good, and we hope this is the first building we are building with our with the bricks that we made, and it's really good. We are tempted to say we might be using the same bricks maybe to renovate the teacher's house because they are good. Yeah.
Could you hire some of the people we trained with the construction team for the building, or who is building?
The pig pen started the building, all the started with the team that we trained, and they are continuing up to date. They're the ones building under the instruction of the expert.
Hmm. Hmm. How is it when it rains? Do people come out or do they just stay at home and you have to wait for the sunny days? Is it like, I don't know, do you farm or do you build while it's raining, or is it when it's raining you stay at home?
When it is raining, there's no activity that is going on, especially these days when it was raining so heavily. So it might be dangerous for people or to be outside in the rains, because if the rains are too much, then people get cold. So when it is raining like that, people have to stay in the house until the rains go stops. So during the day when there is no rain, then people can continue with farm work or building is going on. So
Mm,
for the last 4 days, building was not easy. So
mm,
hopefully today maybe they have continued building.
mm. And from your how, I don't know, you have been living there all of your life and there's the rains. Does it feel like, oh, this is like, yeah, this is rain season, or does this also feel like an unusual weather phenomena like so many others of the past year?
This is unusual because the amount of rains that we had this year, right from March, it was too much rains that has caused the floods, which was not, uh, it has not been experienced before. And also this time when we were expecting to have short rains, it looks like the rains are coming so heavily that they're causing floods and damages in some areas of which it's not usual. So this rains is not the usual rains people have been expecting. And it's really like people realize or see the changes of the season very real, because they have not been experiencing this before.
Remember, Baki, we had a time when we said it's important that the center is also like a climate monitor, or there's climate monitoring, and it comes to mind now that I don't know how to do it, but like something, I don't know, maybe we could think about it, or brainstorm about it, because I think it's important to have a lot of voices who say, okay, here the climate is changing, it has this impact on the people, and I don't know, maybe on the new website have something, um, s- some kind of visual way of showing, okay, this is like the regular climate curve as we expected with the two rain seasons, and then make red dots or something to show these unusual weather things that happen. To, I don't know, what do you think, Larry? Is that would that be interesting for you or for? Mm, mhm, mhm, mhm. Yeah. So for me, also when I translate what you write about the center, Emmanuel, I translate it for my German website. And if you have something like this, if you have a week of rain, it would be very helpful if you make a Facebook post and frame it, I don't know, weather monitor or climate alert, and write about it. So I can copy it into German and or we can also share it on our personal Facebook because uh, I think I also read a piece this morning that like also newspaper editors asked their staff to make climate change always the story. Whatever story they have, they write about economics, and then they ask their people to okay and say how does this relate to climate change, because every story is a climate change story, and it's not, the news is not, it's there because we know that it's there, but we have to learn step by step the impact, and because it's too big to grasp for people. So if we have like very many small stories, it can sink in, and become something we can deal with somehow. Mm.
Thank you for saying that. I think it's a really good idea, and I think we are not yet late because it's only today we don't have the rains, so we can we
Sorry.
can uh, we can we can do something about that. We can write something in the center Facebook page and also in my personal Facebook page. I can share that and share what has been transpiring. Maybe viewing from the last 3 years behind when we had really, really, really drought and people were really struggling to have food. Now we have the rains, and the rains now have become even more like a disaster in some areas where people are facing really, really big problems with that. And also now it's not even easy for proper growth of crops like corn that we already planted because the water is too much in the soil, and this is really affecting the people in how to grow their own food, and this is very unusual. So these are the effects of the climate change that we have been experiencing in terms of drought, and now we are experiencing in terms of rainfall. It's not yet everywhere, but right now in the coast province, here in the coast, then there is a lot of rains and there is a lot of these floods in some areas.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I can also think of myself, why don't I do, for example, a Facebook post? It's November, no, it's supposed to be like a wet season, and the rivers are dry. No, the drought here has not really stopped yet, even though it rained today. It's not over, this long drought summer, and we will have like a November with very warm weather next Wednesday, which is also very unusual. So also as a note for myself to maybe speak more about it, and uh, and create forums for this topic. Yeah. No, we Emmanuel and me, we were 10 days in Cairo for with the Deep Democracy Institute, and we had group process every day, and climate and community did not make it on the agenda. It was yeah, there were other topics from corruption, democracy, also women, religion, also important topics, but climate didn't make it on the agenda. So
Yes. Yes, I will also I want also share a little bit here in the in the call, but also I think by tomorrow I'll be done by the small writings that I will share with all of us. But it was for about 3 or 4 hours of my last day in Cairo that I managed to visit Zekem. Zekem is an eco village that has been existing for the last 40 years. And they are now having a school. They have school for children like what we have, and also they have like an institute where they train for diploma and these technical issues like mechanical and woodwork and metal work that they are doing for the bigger or for the older children who are becoming youth. And they have a farm that they use organic farming. And because it is almost a desert, they have been reclaimed the land by having some boreholes. And these boreholes, they use them to grow organic food. And they have a guest house where people may who want to visit or who want to stay at the Zekem for some time, then they can already like book to the center, and they have this guest house that they can stay there for the time they want to stay. And that is one of the generating active income generating activity that comes to the Zekem. They have a medical system. This medical system is they grow medical trees, and they process this and sell to you sell to the US, sell to Mexico, sell to Germany. They have these connections that they export these medical medicine they make. Also, that is also another department where they generate income. And at Zekem, they have a unique way of establishing companies, like companies that generate money. They have companies that do some value addition to herbs that the crops that farmers grow, like the lemon tree, the lemon grass. They buy a lot of lemon grass and store them, and they make value addition by cutting and make some like powder, so that people can just put in hot water and drink as a drink. Also, it is one of medical system that nourishes the blood. So they have that company that deals with that. And they have also like a water purification company where they make water. They make mineral water, and this mineral water they sell. And this company is still under the Zekem farm. And they have a very big farm, and they buy also products like cotton products. Cotton products, they have a big farm that they grow the cotton, and also they buy from the farmers, and they have a very big factory where they process the cotton and make children clothes. These children clothes are made at the at the village, and then some they sell locally and some they sell abroad. So in this way, they have created employment to the Egyptian. Those who are working in the factory to make clothes is about like 300 people are being employed there, and they have employment inside of children, where the children we have some teachers and other staff who also work with the children, and they follow this curriculum that we also have. To here in our country is the new curriculum that we are now trying to implement, and there they're about like 6 years old that they have been implementing that, and I saw it was really going on. And they have the normal hospital. They have a hospital where the people from outside they come to hospital and they get medicine, and they have doctors that are from the government and others who are employed there independently. So at Zekem, there is a combination of, they say it's a social entrepreneurship. So in this social entrepreneurship, it's a concept that tries to create employment to the people, local people. They also make it more sustainable for sustainability for the project to continue. So those who have also how they recruit volunteers and visitors, it's a bit more even sustainable. First, they say, okay, we need volunteers of this, maybe teachers, researchers, and also if you are volunteers in woodwork or metalwork, if you volunteer, then they say, okay, if you come as a volunteer, we provide with food every morning and night and evening, but now you will have to contribute to where you will stay. So this is how and the visitors, when we go there, all the food that the visitors eat, they go to the canteen and they eat there and they pay. If it is lunch, they pay for the lunch. If they stay for like a week, then they pay for the food they eat. And all food being done there is organic food. So it's a concept of creating employment and making even more income generating, and also more sustainable. So I love the sustainability part of it and how the locals come in to work and own it as theirs. So the founder of the Zekem scheme uh, had all these social entrepreneurship in mind, but he said that when they go organic using the traditional way of life, it's even more sustainable because the people are staying there and they don't have no much to change in their lives, but still they can make activities that really support themselves and support the children and they support the community at large. So that is how they do it. And I have some photos that I took. And they also have a local shop in the Zekem. They have a shop that all the products, like the all organic products, they sell there. So when visitors visit, they have an opportunity to buy something there. So it's part also of the generating activity and making it more sustainable. They have like conferences where they build conference, and those who need to use conference facilities, they can hire and pay, and they can use their activity. So for the 40 years, I could see how they have really become even more independent on their own. Now they are working with the government as partners, or in some areas, and also some other organizations, they come as partners to see how they can support each other in the growing. So that is what I found out during the last day of my visit in Cairo during the Deep Democracy Institute training. I'm just preparing a small report on what I saw and sharing the photos, and I will share that.
Wonderful.
Yes. Yeah.
And Emmanuel, I have also some good news for you
Yeah.
concerning partnerships.
Yes.
I heard that the German government is looking for eco-village partners in Africa because
Yes.
like there's a big pressure because there are a lot of refugees in Germany, and the government has to prove that they also work on the living conditions in the countries where the refugees come from. So what the German government is looking for is initiatives that transform local villages that are about to change, or where people want to go away because of climate change, and that have new ideas how people can stay there. And it's like the it's something when I saw it in a video, I thought this is something I had in mind all the time, like because the village structures are quite healthy, I feel, in rural Kenya. It's just that the income structures are not healthy. So if the village structure is kept and there are ideas how to get like shared income structures, the village is intact again, and healthy. And so I think it's also a good encouragement to keep on working, and also keep on working to prototype a village that there where the center is.
What I found out as an eco village, what I found out as an eco village is that it's how you live. If you live sustainably, using the local resources, and also trying to go protecting the environment and the soil and the trees, and how you can make that even more also sustainable, on how they can grow and support the community, and also the economic status of the people living in the village, like getting employment, and how they can proceed with this. I thought that was really, really touching, and I think those are the few mitigations that I feel I shared with the people here in the community, and also at the center I brought some people, and they really look forward for this, because we are already like in a village, and the center is like a model or a role model. So it's how we can expand that. So if partners come in, then we have now, what we really have to do is our website. Our website has to show these parts of eco, on how we live as an eco village. Right now, our website has to be updated and to show these things, because once you share this with people, they'll go to the website and they will really want to see how these things are happening. So what we need to do is to update our website. Yes, it's Magarini Children's Center, and organic farming demonstration farm, but we are in a village that is an eco village that is growing, and we share all this. So I thought it's what we need is to bring the this concept, or to write for those partners who want to see. Then when they go to our website, they have to see this. And also at the Zekem, there is no grass, but they have about even more than 600 cows and more than 2,000 sheep. That the sheep are only for meat, and they sell the lamb and to the people, and the lamb is very delicious, and it was really something that brings food to the center. So for here, because right now we have the pigs, we have some goats. Now we need to have like some cow, and then the cow will start growing by producing other small cows. So now all this, and sharing with the photos in the website, this will really support us to bring even more people who want to partner with eco villages.
Mm.
Yeah, for for now we don't have internet connection at the center. Sorry for that. Right now, there's no internet connection at the center, and where we can have internet connection is in Malindi. Like I shared with you that I have a room that is use it as an office. When I go to Malindi, the connection there is really good, and I was thinking, if possible, if we can have add some tables in the office, and have some computers that will connect with the internet, and that is one possibility. And
Yes.
children can like this time that they have a long holiday, we can go to town and they can work there, and they can work with the computers, and they can give their stories with other children outside. I think that can work. Another
Yes.
thing, there
Wait, wait,
are some
wait, wait, wait. I want to speak to Larry, because I have to do that too. Larry, you plan to invite Emmanuel next year to the States, and you can already ask your friends if they have old tablets, if they have old smartphones. All the teachers, we want the teachers to communicate. So if they have their own smartphones and can take their own pictures, they can communicate about their little project. So it's yeah, some people, don't have someone to give it, but just have an old iPad somewhere, and maybe Emmanuel could take home some of those for his staff, and also for the student to use it.
Yes. Mm.
So when I travel from here to Kenya, they always let me take double luggage, so I can take two times 23 kilos. And I don't know how it is from the States, um, but I will, like with my Christmas fundraisers, I will also ask for just for phones and tablets, and then take them with me. Mm. Mm-hmm. There you have to pay extra. But then it's like
Yeah,
$10 or something
if the
for an extra luggage. And I
if
think
the
that's
luggage
if it's full of technology, it's okay. Yeah.
the luggage is, if the luggage is huge, we can even use the bus to bring it. If with
Mm.
the aeroplane is expensive, then we can use the bus. And also that reminds me of the the people who are to donate some library books to the center. Uh, my friend Selvin and Benjamin, who used to come and make who made the short videos. Now they were given some there were books were donated to Magarini, and they were called to collect them, and they collected them. They have it. So it's me. Either I travel to Nairobi to get them, or I wait until they come here, then they can bring. So what I'm thinking is to go and collect them, to bring them. These books are not like for the government curriculum. No, they are reading books, the library books that we put, and children can read the books, and they say they are very good books, like storybooks.
Yes. Yeah, what is going on, Larry, when you say it's like with the election and the fear, what do you hear? Do people then fundraise for political parties, or is it how is this connected? Uh-huh. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Wow. 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 Yes. 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 Mm. Wow. Thanks for sharing, Larry. When I see you like this, I would like to say, get out of there, get out of that field, come to Africa. It is the field, I know. Yeah.
But what
I
what
made
you
this
said?
experience in Cairo now. I'm in a field here of anti-Islamic propaganda. It's like Dresden is a place to experiment with that, and there's like a lot of people influencing it, and I had the chance now to go to an Arabic culture and make a lot of friends with deep belief, and it was so great to get out of it and to see how far it had gotten me, you know, like really it's and then yeah. Mm. So so I'm all the way with you when you say it's something, like a disease. It gets under the skin, and you use a lot of energy only for defending yourself, knowing I don't want it, but it's still like itching and everywhere around, no? mm, mm,
I was saying the field is having much of the elections, and when elections come nowadays, it's not something that brings joy for the people, because it's something that brings fear, something that brings hatred, something that it's not something that is called again like democracy or what they described about democracy. And you see this, it is happening not only in the US, it is happening here in Africa, in Kenya, and when time come for elections, there is these tensions. Everyone is like, I want this to pass. I want this to be over. I want this to go, because it's a very scaring a process. It's a way. For me, I thought it should not be as scary as that, but the way now it is, it's really something that uh, it's not bringing joy to the people, and the way they would wish to do it. So it's something that when you explain that, and having the same mood last in our previous election, I really understand what you say and feel it, how you feel it there. So thank you for sharing that, Larry.
mm. And you have to admit that our little local campaign was a lot of fun, also for a lot of people. So I think, Larry, if there's a chance that you have your own Santa Fe Larry All Stars for president campaign, go for it. Yes. But Larry, this is also important because I was wondering what's going on. I felt after sending out the newsletter, there wasn't any feedback, and it felt like really low energy from the States, you know? And that you share this, it makes it so like I heard you say, "Oh, we are concerned with our own stuff right now," and it's very important to not get worried what's going on. Yeah. Mm, mm, mm.
November 18th is okay for me. Yeah.
Mhm. Great, great. We are 1 hour earlier now, so it's 5 for Dresden and Italy. We have the daylight saving is over. We are to regular time.
No, no. It's only it's only it's only on your side. Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah,
It's
for me,
only in the email that you write instead of 6 p.m. It's 5 p.m. for me now. And I was just thinking if Jackie wants to join or anyone. I asked a friend from Denmark, Karin, if she wants to come, so that people don't get confused about the time. Hmm. Hmm.
thank you.
Larry, and when we were in this crazy, crazy Cairo, which is only cars, I have been thinking of you, and you made it so clear that you said I'm in the forests now for 6 weeks, and it was wonderful to have you there. It's like it's good to have you in my life and to know what you do, and yeah, I love thinking of this place of the earth, and I mean it's I never think of Trump, when I think of Santa Fe, I think of you, the forest, of other friends I have there, of the art, of the special houses, of there's so many things to think of which are which are not politics. I mean, it's to me it's like one of these hubs in the world that are so strong, and just enjoy it. Forget this kind of man who calls himself important. whatever whatever it is, this thing. Yes. One day I will travel to the US. Yes. Mm, thank you. Mm.
So much, much love.
Ah, wonderful. Great. You too.
Have
Bye
a good
bye.
day.
Bye.